All right. Shalom, family. This is Brother Israel coming with you. This is my first video I'm doing. So I'm in the crib chilling right now. So I have a lot of thoughts that run through my mind, man. So I got to give them to you, man. I just can't keep them in my head. So regardless of how I go, whether I mess up or anything, I'm going to try not to edit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just try to keep it just like that. It's kind of weird talking to a damn camera, though. But, hey, let's get it. So the main thing I want to talk about today is I want to talk about the Bible, right? A lot of people think the Bible is not a true book. The Bible is not the black man's book. It's the white man's book, right? But I never seen a so-called white man in this book, right? I haven't seen a white prophet in this book, right? Because you see all these pictures. You see the Last Supper. You see white Jesus. You know, you see all the white angels, right? But you don't see any black images. But you won't find the words, right? You won't find those white people in this book, right? So let me get Psalms chapter 68, verse 11. This basically for all the scoffers, man. You know, for all the people who say the Bible was a white man's book and it's meant to throw us off, right? Let's show you who gave the word. It's Psalms chapter 68 and verse 11. The Lord gave the word, right? So the Lord gave the word. And it says, great was the company of those that published it, right? So the people who published it were the prophets, right? You had the prophets like Job. You had Moses, right? You had Ezekiel, right? Isaiah, Jeremiah, different, you know, and you get the picture. But all these prophets were given words from the Most High to put in the Bible. So black people wrote this book. Let me prove that. Right, let's go to Job. Job chapter 30 and verse 30. Right? This is Job chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me, right? And my bones are burned with heat. Right? It's telling you right here. He said my skin is black upon me. Right? So Job is a so-called black man. Right? Let's show you some more. Right? For the simple Negroes out there, man. Right? This is Solomon. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black, but comely. Right? He said, I am black and beautiful. That's what comely means. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Right? So Solomon was a so-called black man. Right? Let's show you what color the Jews were. All right, let's get Jeremiah chapter 14, I think. Right, Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. Right? And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. Right, so the Jews are black. Right, the Jews are black people. I don't know where they're getting all these white people from, right? Nowhere in the scriptures will you find where the prophets or the Israelites are so-called white people, right? Let's see what Christ looked like, right? Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool. So in color, well, his head and his hairs, like his beard, were white like wool. So it was woolly in texture, right? And white in color. Right, like you see an old man, like you have our older man, like you have Morgan Freeman, or you had Dick Gregory, right? You see they had white woolly hair, so that's what Christ looked like. Is white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. His eyes were red because he drank wine, and you can read that in Genesis chapter 49, right? And his feet like unto fine brass. We already know that brass is brown. So Christ was a brown man, but that's not it. It says as if they burned in a furnace, right? So not only was he brown, he was a very dark brown. You know, he was a so-called black man, right? He would be like Wesley Snipes walking around here right now, you know? So I'm just showing you, man, like everybody in the Bible is, matter of fact, let me get one more. I'm going to show you what the Most High looked like according to the scriptures, right? And no, the Most High is not a spirit. He's not a puff of smoke just floating around in the air, right? This is Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow. So if the Most High had a garment on, right, that's telling you he had a body, right? In order to have a garment on, you have to have shoulders, right? You have to have arms. You have to have legs, you know, as white as snow. And the hair on his head, so if you got hair on your head, that means you got to have a head, right? Now let's see what it looked like. And the hair of his head like the pure wool, right? That's why Christ said, if you have seen me, you've seen the Father, because he looked just like him. And no, they are not the Trinity. They are separate people, right? But that's a deeper lesson, but we're not going to get into that right now. But Christ was a so-called black man. All the prophets in the Bible were so-called black men when you read into all these scriptures, right? Even the angels are so-called black, right? So basically what I'm showing you right now is you have to come into your history. Like this is, right now it's Black History Month. You know, it's Black History Month, right? They give you the shortest month out of all the years. I mean, out of all the months, you know. They give you the shortest month. And then you got February, you got Valentine's Day right in between that. So, hell, they really give you 27 days instead of 28, you know. So, you got to get into your history, man. You got to get into the scriptures. You got to open the Bible and read it for yourself and not listen to what the so-called white man tell you, right? Because you can read the Bible front to back 9 times, right? You can go and pay $20,000 at a college to try to learn about the Bible, but you won't be able to get it, right? It's not for everybody. It's only for the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to be able to understand it, if they have ears to hear. And not even all of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans will be able to hear this. Only the 1/3, right? The 144,000 that the Most High God is looking for. You know, they're going to be the ones who hear it. The Most High's elect, right? So let me make another point, man. You got a lot of people say the Bible is written by the white man, right? The Bible is meant to lead you into captivity. It's meant to lead your mind into captivity, right? This Bible was written thousands of years ago, right? And if you don't believe me, most of you, you black men and you black women, right? Y'all believe the white man. So go ask him. Go ask him when the Bible was written, right? They can tell you all about these damn dinosaurs. They can dust off bones and say, hey, this happened 1,000,000 years ago. Hey, the damn the Earth, it started out with a big boom, right? They tell you about the Ice Age. All those things, you know what I'm saying? They're probably not true, you know, but just like the Ice Age, for instance, right? Most High said he flooded the world with water, right? What is ice? All right, then, that's what I thought. But basically what I'm saying is they can go through all this history. They can tell you who the Romans were, right? They can go to 300 BC. They can go to 400 BC. They can go to 70 AD and tell you all the different things that happened. They have all kind of different artifacts from those time periods, but they can't tell you who you are, right? They can't tell you who you are. They know who you are. You are the Israelites according to the scriptures, right? That's why you got to come back to your heritage. You got to come back to your so-called black heritage, right? Which would be Israel, right? You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You got to come back to that. And you got to come out of your wicked ways so the Most High God can take you from this land of your captivity, right? So basically, that's all I wanted, you know what I'm saying? That's all I wanted to say. This is my first video or whatever. Well, yeah, this is my first video on actual camera doing it solo. But I'm going to try to get some more out, you know, Lord willing. And that's basically it, man. That's all I got to say. All right, I'm back. I couldn't end the video right there, you know. So the point is, man, like, I couldn't end it right there, man. It's just I gotta talk about it. So the point is that, right, they can go back thousands of years ago, right, and they could tell you all these things, right. We telling you the Israelites, man. We telling you to go in the scriptures, look at Deuteronomy 28, see that you went through slave ships on went through slavery on slave ships, right? You see all these. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you some examples, right? It says Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there should be no might in thine hand. Right? So you look at that, man. Who kids got given away in slavery? Right? So Deuteronomy 28, man. These are our transcripts. These are our records, if you will, right? Because it said in verse 46, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So this is a sign to tell you who the Israelites are, right? If I follow your transcripts about your whole life, right? Esau know everything about you, man. Where you lived, you know what I'm saying? And if I just gave you a sheet of paper, right, and I gave you all the addresses, right, of where you used to live, right, in 1787, West Jefferson Street, right? If I give you another address, 123 George Washington Street, right? If I keep giving you all these things, I don't even have to put your name at the top. I'm showing you these addresses, right? Now they're starting to seem familiar to you. I give you one of your old phone numbers. You're like, that sounds familiar. You know, that sounds familiar. If I give you your school that you went to, your elementary, I'm like, all right, this might be me. This might be my paper right here, right? Then I give you the high school you went to. Now it's starting to make real sense, right? And now I tell you who the mascot is on this sheet of paper, and I tell you, and I tell you where you first worked at, right? Basically, the point I'm getting at is, right, you open up the Bible and you see all the curses of Deuteronomy 28. The transcript, those addresses, that phone number, that school that you went to, that high school, the things you did. Hell, if you had different things, you know what I'm saying, on your record, they could find you. You know what I'm saying? If anything like that, right? So basically what I'm saying is, like, these are our records, and we can find out who we are according to the scriptures. Because the so-called white man, they don't match up to these curses. The Asian man don't match up to these curses, man. Let me show you. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. What nation of people got scattered from one end of the earth into the other? Who went through the Atlantic slave trade? Who went through the sub-Saharan slave trade, right? Who can Google slavery and then their pictures pop up, right? Let's see. Let's get verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, right? So it said it will bring you into Egypt again. The first time the children of Israel were in slavery, they were in Egypt, right? Okay, so they were in Egypt in slavery. So it said he would bring them into Egypt again, right? They never went back into slavery as a whole into Egypt, right? So let's prove that. Let's show you what Egypt is talking about. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2, it says, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So the Lord is showing you right here that Egypt means bondage. Another word for bondage is slavery. Now let's go back and fill that in. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Right? So what nation of people went into slavery on slave ships? Right? It can't get no more plain than that, man. What nation of people went into slavery on slave ships? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is how we know that we are the Israelites according to the Bible, according to the curses of Deuteronomy 28, because nobody has been through these curses, right? A white man can't come and tell you how it was living in the projects. You know what I'm saying? Only you know that, right? He can't come and tell you how it is living in the hood, going to the worst schools in the nations, right? They can't do that, man. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can, though, because we fit in these curses. They can't tell you that, right? So it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. So you see, the Lord is calling them our enemies. He said you will be sold into your enemies, right? So when we got off those slave ships, we were sold to our enemies. They sold our kids. They sold our wives. They sold our brothers, right? For bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. That word buy is an old English word for redeem. No man will redeem you, right? You can prove that just by simply saying, hey, the Asian man, they're not stepping up saying, hey, those are our people, let them go. You did them wrong. The African man, the people who look like us, they haven't said, hey, let those people go. Those are our people, right? Or we're going to go to war with you if you don't give us our people back. They're not doing it because those are not our people, right? The damn Japanese man ain't standing up and flying over here like he did for Pearl Harbor, right? To come and free the blacks, so-called blacks. They're not doing that because we are the children of Israel and they don't care about us, man, right? All these nations don't care about you, right? Only we can care about each other. That's the main subject. Zephaniah 2:1 said, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. Right? We are the nation that is not desired. We have to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments and be one people. Right? We got to stop hating each other. We got to start loving each other. Right? And we can't be mugging our brothers walking down the street. Right? We got to come out of those ways, man. You got to be a man and go into your communities and teach your communities. You got to get out there in them streets. You got to get your knowledge up, man. You got to read every day. You got to study it every day. You got to meditate every day. And you got to come out here and be a man for your community, right? And bring your people back to the flock, man. Bring the knowledge back to your people. Bring your heritage back to your people, right? Your people need that, man. You see your people need that, right? Our brothers out here shooting each other down left and right, man, thinking it's cool, man. Our women out here being whores and thoughts, man. They think that's cool to give up what they got, their precious rubies, right? The Lord has said they like they said they like precious rubies, man. You know, it's kind of hard talking to this damn camera, but and that's basically it, man. That's all I wanted to say. So basically, come back to your heritage. Get off the couch. Start studying more, praying more. You know what I'm saying? Congregate with your people more, you know, and come back to your law, statutes, and heritage, right? And your commandments. And with that, I say shalom, brother Israel, and I'm out.